still use some of that. Yeah.
Okay.
So what, just carry on what you were saying.
What happened was with it was the built process, you know, and they didn't. They said that they didn't have the prior learning within the lesson. They didn't remember the prior learning, but by the end of the lesson, we had an exit ticket, and almost all of the students got above a 60 percentile with the exit ticket. So it means that they learned in the lesson what we were looking for when it came to the content. So they could prove that they could analyze a part of a transition and how it related to the overall play. So obviously we met the target with that. Some of the targets when it came to the in-task standards, like the part 3, weren't met brilliantly, but this was a lesson in which I didn't want there to be laptops, because previously we'd had so many problems with AUP violations, which are computer violations, and I wanted them to be able to prove that they could do this without this tool in front of them. They could take a piece of paper and go old school, as it were. Maybe it wasn't the best of choices, I'll be honest with you, but it was something that I felt that they needed to do as students, because they'd been having it was more of like a teaching tool for them, not having a computer once, you know. They were a little bit lost. And
yeah, but they were, I saw, you know, they were writing and they were engaging with the worksheet, and you were able to say, turn to page 2, and then they were going there, and then it seemed like the think, pair, share activity was actually on the handout itself, right?
Yeah,
so I thought that was really good to guide them through the process of the lesson as well.
It was a total step-by-step process. Maybe there were too many sheets on the tables. I had a transition sheet on the table as well for those that wanted to, for the differentiation, those that wanted to pick their own transition. I had that on the table, and we had some students like Alexander who picked the further ability one, the higher level one.
So they could actually choose it from the handouts. So and there was a moment where you kind of pushed him to actually choose the higher question.
This is it. Koshan was asking, should I do the higher question? I'm like, yes, of course. Push yourself beyond the limits of your capacity. You know. Where are we meeting on the rubrics? Sorry, what are we?
No. I mean, this is just to guide. Like we're referring to the standards, so I think that's the point of having this. It's not. We don't use that to guide the discussion. But apart from that, I mean, how overall, how do you think the?
I think it was successful. I think there could have been some strategies that I used when it came to giving them more guidance when it came to what they should and shouldn't discuss within the think, pair, share elements. I mean, there was obviously the questions that I needed to discuss, but they it could have done with more either sentence starters or something more to fill in.
To help them structure their thinking, because that's what I was thinking
Sentence
as well.
structures would have been great. I should have used that, but I did use some of them when it came to later on when they were answering the exit ticket. I gave out exit tickets, but I gave out exit tickets that were differentiated. I gave some help to some of the lower language ELL students, so that was beneficial, and that worked well, because they managed to all meet target pretty much. I don't think I had any that got below 60, which is great, you know, when it comes to, and the rubrics itself for that was pretty straightforward. The students don't have the rubrics because it's not a summative, technically. But it's my ability to be able to grade how they performed there. Maybe I could have given them a rubrics, that might have helped them more as well, but I'm not entirely sure they would have read it or had time to.
But I mean, even in your language, to say, okay, to do well in this task, you need to do this and this and this.
Well, we did that, but it didn't get into the video. There's a lot of stuff that didn't make it into the video. It's a very, very shortened version of a very long lesson, I'll be honest. I did say, this is how we started, this is where we go, this is what we need to do.
You had there was like a scene transition analysis that you guide them on before the think, pair, share. So how did that go? Because I sort of, there was some, you showed them a scene and then you spoke about some of the,
The problem was that they didn't pay attention enough in the first showing of it. So we discussed it, but they didn't really have the memories in place to be able to discuss it rather than the ability. So what I did later on, even though I didn't plan for it, was that I showed it again, so that when they did their the next activity, the ones with the lower levels could use that transition as the one that they talked about. They could pick either the one that they've seen on TV or the one that they had in front of them in the list of transitions.
In terms of like script, like into
no, they only
other
had,
scenes that they can refer to from other films.
No, from the same play that we've already watched and we've already viewed it, and they already know the plot. They say that we went into the lesson. They acted like they didn't remember anything, but by the end of it, they remembered a vast majority. You know.
Yeah, because you say in the plan that they must observe, like what do they observe in the scene transition in order for them to, you know, so that, I mean, that was really great because that's a beginning of analysis, is to observe something.
And how it meets the overall.
But the first step is to make some observations, like, oh, there was a tree there, whereas before there wasn't.
And even if there are silly observations like got poked in the bum sort of thing, you know, that was good because it helped them to figure the naughtiness, the fairy world, and how it could be construed as cheeky, you know, and that's what they got from that, and that was good because that's like that's part of the overall play. It contributes massively to the overall play. Is the difference between the real world and the fantasy realm. But we're running out of time.
Okay. That's good.
But anyway, thank you very much for watching. This is the lesson 2 clinical practice video.